All right, loving the intro music. Welcome, everybody. I am super excited about the conversation that we're about to have today. I have to start out by apologizing because I am a bit starstruck and a little nervous because we have joining with us Miss Abebrese, and first just want to welcome you joining us from the UK today, right?
Listen, I'm like, I wish we could swap. Like right now, I'm in like, in Ghana you wear black if it's like, you don't only wear black for like funerals or whatever. Black
Right.
is autumn heading to winter, so I've been wearing black and I'm just like, "Ah, I miss the sun, but it's
Trust me. Well, it was
receiving
so
the
hot today that
warmth.
you might not have missed it as much today. But
I'm
it's
always
so
gonna
good.
take some sun. I'm a sun baby, so I'm always gonna take some
Me
sun. But
too.
it's
Me
yes,
too.
yes,
Trust me.
yes.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm a little nervous because I know you started interviewing people when you were 14. So, as
Ooh.
they say, you're not new to this, you're true to this. And
You
so please
you know,
forgive.
to be very honest, I'm just like a talkative. I'm just a talkative. So for me, it's literally like even before I did this professionally, I think I was just inquisitive. So it's just like, that kid that's always gonna ask that question, me. So that's all it is. It's just a talkative kid who just continue talking. That's all.
Gotcha. So I think we have that in common because I was the one in class who would talk to everybody around me so much that the teacher would like move me to the corner so that it's like she's gonna talk to everybody.
Yep, yep, yep. That's
Okay.
it.
So for those who have been living under a rock and don't know, we have with us just Black African media and entertainment royalty today in the form of Miss Amake. You have done film, television. You hosted, anchored a morning show. You've done public service campaigns. Big fan of the campaign you did on loving the skin we're in,
Yep.
and you're a goodwill ambassador. You just done so many things. So and
Yeah.
now you're coming on board. We'll talk a little bit later, of course, about the Abibitumi Abibifahodie Film Festival is why we're here today. But first, just want to talk a little bit just about how you're able to navigate all of these things. Because one thing that impresses me is there's so many people who move through the entertainment space, and it seems like even when they're not acting in a role, they're still acting. But you just seem
Mm.
like so genuine and down to earth, and you don't seem like that's really penetrated you that way. So just talk about how you've been able to navigate the space.
I think I've been incredibly lucky in the sense of when it comes to my career and TV, film, behind the scenes. I I fell in love with this, right? Acting is my first love. I've said this time and time and time again. But for anybody who acts and who's an actor, once you get into the field, you realize that acting is about somebody betting on you. So you
Mm.
could literally, like, go try out for audition. You can literally do your best. You can do amazing. In your head, you've smashed it and you don't get the role. You can
Mm.
literally audition time and time and time again. So as good of an actor or a performer that you are, when you're acting, um, it's, and I love it. I love to, interpret characters and play, whether it's theater or in film. But one thing I learned earlier on was somebody has to bet on you. So it was really important for me to make sure that I'm not that unemployed actor. So the beautiful which most of the time, actors we are.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing I also had a love of talking, as I said earlier on, and I also got into TV presenting at a young age. So I was really lucky the times when I wasn't getting acting jobs, I was doing TV presenting jobs. And the more I learned about, I got into TV, I got into TV producing. So then you're creating content, you're creating shows. And one thing about the media space is vast now, but I feel like with the media there's so much you can do in the media, so, and it's all connected. I remember, as a teenager going into production companies. I was, work experience, I made the coffees, I did the photocopying. I've literally done it all. What haven't I done? I've been a cable wrangler. I've done, because when you're in the TV space and you're young, you get to learn. So I always say that, look, um, I got to do what I got to do. Acting being my first love, but when acting jobs was not coming, I also fell into another love, which is TV presenting. Got into TV producing, and recently I got into film producing. I've been also head of production of a TV station. I was head of production of a TV station with original content that we're producing. So there's something about knowing, like, the ecosystem and being blessed to work in that ecosystem of, okay, well, hey, I'm not just a face. I'm I'm a producer. I'm even sometimes the person that when it's lunch, hey, let me hand you your drink. And sometimes I think that media ecosystem, based on when you're working, especially in television and film, we tend to be very friendly, very we're versatile because you have to. Even at one point, I learned editing. I didn't like editing. I was like, this is not for me. But at least I'm glad I got to learn a little bit of it. Yeah. So I've been very, very blessed. To when one part of my career is not doing amazing, then because I have other skill sets, I've been able to rely on that. And especially in this day and age, like back in the day, it was like you have one job, you're a TV presenter, you're a TV producer, you're this is now look, you have doctors who are content creators. Now you have, like, now it makes sense. But 20 something years ago when I started, it was very much like, oh, you're only one or two things. Now I realize that people are not pigeonholing themselves anymore, especially when it comes to this media space, which just keeps evolving more and more and more, you know?
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on that. Uh, we do see that sometimes we hear a lot of women in the industry say that they feel pigeonholed. So I love that you are like, I'm not letting anyone pigeonhole me. I'm going to do
Hmm.
it all and touch it all. And I can't agree with you. Editing, I think it's beautiful to be able to create, but it takes a certain kind of personality, I think, to
Time,
like cut.
time. Ooh, ooh.
I agree with
Ooh,
you on that.
I see it in my head, but I think also like the patience to sit. I respect editors so much because
Trust
the
me.
time they sit behind the screen, and it's like they have an eye, like, and patience, a level of patience. And I respect editors so much because they create things, they make things happen. But I've just been so blessed that, look, I started in this industry really at a young age, professionally, probably from like age 17 onwards. And because I was so young, initially I wasn't career driven. I was just following my passion, right? So there's that beautiful thing about when you're following your passion, you're literally like, look, it's not about money, which until you find out, shoot, I'm broke. Like, oh yeah, this person has this project. Yeah, let's all turn up, let's do it. Okay, somebody's doing this, writing this piece. Let's do this play. Um, and I didn't realize over the years how much I was learning because um then, and also one thing about like creative people and creative spaces, when you collaborate and you do things that, look, when you show up for people, people show up for you. So there's times you may not have like a massive budget, but then because somebody um you worked with years before, like when you need them and maybe you may not have the budget to pay them, they're going to come through and be like, hey, let's do this. And we know how film can be. Film right now is very expensive to do, but one thing I realize is with like different technology and different collaborations, people are doing amazing films, amazing projects, and a lot of times it's not costing us so much money. And we're able to share it into different spaces, into different communities, and tell our stories. I would never get over how much, like, being in this field of film and media and being the author, how important that is, especially as a people that for so long our stories have been told for us and have been shaped in a ways that was not authentic. So I love that I'm one of those people that I get to create, and I've been able to create with amazing people and work with amazing directors, amazing producers, from all over the world. It's such a blessing.
So you just hit the nail on the head when you talked about being able to tell our stories. And I remember having a conversation maybe about 6 months ago with some people who were like, there are not enough movies out. They don't go to the movies anymore. It feels like the same, either repetitive kinds of things, or things are predictable, or, there's sometimes so many stereotypes of us. But one thing I'm recognizing is that we're going to other people sometimes for our media and entertainment. And so, as we're
Mhm.
looking at this Black Power Film Festival, I'd love for you to talk more on just the importance of being able to have our own directors, writers, producers, actors tell our story.
You know, I think, look, there's a ton of, different film festivals that happen around the world. There's a ton of different film festivals that happen around Africa. And I feel like we need more. And I think this Abibitumi Film Festival is, I know it's been going on for a while, but obviously this being the first official edition. Um, Look, we are billions of people. We have so many stories. We have so many eyeballs that need to see our stories, especially even ourselves. One thing about, I think a lot of times as Africans, as Black people, we always want to look at somebody else to tell us, oh, well, this is the format. This is what we should do. This is what it is. But the more festivals like this that we have, unearthing new talent, unearthing different views, different, look, how many tribes we have on the continent of Africa? I can't even, uncountable, right? The amount of
I can't
unique
even count the ones
stories.
just in Ghana.
Listen, right? Even forget Ghana or Nigeria or whatever. So sometimes I always think about it like this. It's like we have hundreds and hundreds of tribes in countries, thousands, something like thousands of tribes, so many dialects. Right? Trickster is like, look, you can almost around about way makes connections to Anansi. One way, right? Anansi stories, there's hundreds of Anansi stories. Mainstream people taking the different stories and made, major films that people didn't even connect the two. We have so many hundreds of stories that other.
Okay, it looks like we had a little bit of technical difficulty. Hopefully, she will be right back with us. In the meantime, I don't know if our host is there and can show the flyer again for the Abibitumi Abibifahodie Black Power Conference. I am again very excited about this conference, about the film festival and conference, just because, as we said, with entertainment, uh, it gives us a chance to tell our story. And um, And to be able, I think one of the things that makes this unique is that it's happening in Ghana, but it's also happening all over the world because it's a virtual film festival and on the ground. So you can see it here on the screen. You can also go to filmfestival dot what is it? Filmfestival dot abibifahodie.org and see the trailers. This again started out as 700, more than 700 applicants, 700 submissions. I don't know if we really can recognize how significant that is. There was a call put out for people to submit films that speak to the message what Black power is. And we recognize that so many people have tried to co-opt the term Black power and turn it into something it's not. But as they say, people understood the assignment, and over 700 films were submitted. It was brought down to 100, and now there's like between like 15 and 20. I heard that are going to be part of this film festival, and it spans uh, uh, short films, documentary, animation. There's student films. It's just such an incredible opportunity for to not think about all the divisions that people try to put with continental Africans and historic diasporans. And this is truly a way for us to literally gather from around the world, culminating on Friday, November 28th at this Abibitumi Abibifahodie Film Festival, and look at what some of the best and brightest of our actors, directors, producers, and content creators are creating in this entertainment industry. So welcome back. I just said why I'm excited. I'd love to hear what excites you about this.
I think you took the words out of my mouth. I'm gonna be I'm, one of the jury members, and I'll be looking at the short films. And I'm really excited because one thing as a filmmaker is the importance of short films sometimes before a feature is unmatched. I love when you're able to get people that can tell a very concise story with the small time that they have. And it's also a very good um, way, especially for like newer filmmakers, to kind of get into um, trying out their long forms. Like, okay, I can make it happen. So I'm really, really excited about. I'm excited about all the films. Look, 700 films. That's amazing, right? And so even just think like, look, 700 different filmmakers have made submitted into this. And that's 700 unique stories about what Black Power means. Um, and this, I think we have hundreds of thousands of stories that need to be told. And the ones who have got through to this festival, I'm just looking forward to seeing it, because I think a lot of times, a lot of as Black people, we have been people see us, we're not a monolith, we know that. But especially when you're in the West, sometimes you kind of feel like have been pigeonholed. Um, and I think being on the continent of Africa, alone with the different countries, the different cultures, the different languages, look, it just shows you how vast Europe is never pigeonholed. Europe is always seen as, oh yeah, so diverse is this, and have, different cultures. And it's like, wait, we're bigger, but yet we don't get the same race, if you want to, for lack of a better word. So I'm just excited. I'm literally excited. Get to get my kelewele,
Aha.
get my kelewele, and just watch some of these films. Obviously, talk to the amazing other jury members, and I just love watching films from different parts of Africa. I do. Sometimes it's like you realize that one thing I realize that when I've been blessed to travel, I haven't traveled to that many African countries, but one thing I realize is sometimes when we travel to different African countries, you see so many similarities, such vast differences. And I'm just, just seeing some of these stories. I'm just looking forward to seeing that. And also other people, the fact that this is also online as well, that everybody gets to, it doesn't matter what part of the world that you are, you get to
Right.
share and be part of this. And I think this is amazing. And I'm just really, really glad that I've been asked to be a part of this one. And I'm looking forward to just watching some amazing film.
Okay. And so, will you be watching the films from the online with the global community, or are you going to be here in Ghana?
I'm gonna peak early, so I'm in London, so I can't physically be there. So as a jury member, I get to see some of them early. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna take up that liberty and make sure I do that. And I'm definitely gonna try and catch some on the day. And I definitely think there are some films I want to watch and let it sit with me, especially when it comes to like the jury. So and then there's the ones which I get to watch on the day. I'm definitely going to try and watch it. Right now my internet is a bit part of where I am, the internet is a bit shaky, so I want to make sure that I take in as much film prior
Right.
as possible. But I'm like, I can't tell you how excited I am, because as a student of film, as a film lover, as an African, um as somebody who is a filmmaker, not in a, I'm not a director, but I'm using some in film. I'm just so glad that I get to share and see, some of the amazing work that people are doing.
So yeah, last couple questions. So, I'm excited. You know, they're going to have a red, black, and green carpet. And I was talking to
Ooh,
a friend about, oh, I hope I can go shopping and get a dress because I really want to wear it on the red, black, and green carpet. So I don't know. Do you have a special outfit that you're planning? Are you gonna don a special outfit for this
I probably
event?
have to try. The annoying thing about, one thing, like when the whole world went into lockdown and we all went into wearing our pajamas. That's the annoying thing when you're not there. Like when you're there, like boom, I'm gonna make a statement. But no, don't worry. Even though I'm not gonna be physically there virtually, I'm gonna make sure like I bring some African royalty outfit, like, because I gotta represent. I gotta represent. I have a wardrobe full of clothes, but there's nothing beats like when you have it on. Maybe put on some nice duku or something. But you go and represent. You represent that. You have to rock the carpet for us, okay? Just
I
because
will
I
try. I
physically
will
cannot be
try.
there. Yes.
All right. That might be good for me because I've seen you on these red carpets and I don't think I can't compete. So, but
Honestly, comes with the job. Comes with the job.
mhm,
Always say like, that's the beautiful thing, is you do the work and you get to play dress up. And most people know how I love African designers. I love rocking, like, whether it's print or kente or just traditional African outfits. Or even one thing I realized is that there's a lot of African designers I'm seeing right now who are it's not even just about the material, about the shapes, our authentic shapes and our authentic fashion. It doesn't matter what material. So I love fashion. And look, who doesn't like to play dress up every now and then?
exactly. And this
Yeah.
is the perfect reason to dress up. So,
Yep.
just wanted to find out. Last thing was just I guess last two things. Uh, I am. I got to interview Sally Kim earlier. I'm interviewing Ibrahim and Ajete coming up here today and tomorrow. So
Hmm.
just incredible judges. Just would love to hear from you, Onawara and Obenfo Obadale.
Yes.
Onawara has this huge film, acting, producing background. And Obenfo is just this scholar who, even though he is my biological brother, I am always floored. I was with him yesterday and he was just saying all this. I'm like, how does he keep this many facts in his head? And so the fact
He's
that
no,
you have
he's a
so
genius. Obenfo is a
many,
genius. I
trust me.
remember meeting him. I don't know if
Yeah.
he told you. I met him. The first time I met him was I was hosting I was a breakfast show host in Ghana,
Yeah.
on New
New
Day,
Day.
and he came there to be interviewed, and I was like, like every morning, like, okay, your guest today, and I was like, this, African American living, back home in Ghana, speaking tree better than me. I was so blown away, because people that can pick up languages, I'm always in awe of. But it's the fact that he's such a genius. He's so dedicated. He's an academic, a professor. I mean, he's everything. And it's just seeing like that level of intelligence that it takes to hold that amount of information, about Africa, about um just everything that literally I'll be honest with you, he blows me away. He literally blows me away. And I love the fact that he's committed to furthering the continent of Africa, making sure that our Our history is upheld in the most amazing way. Our, you know, also our cultures, the different culture we have, I don't know. He's somebody I'm always in awe of. No, no line. I'm not even just saying that. And obviously, Nora is like family. It's such a weird thing. Like it's such. Sometimes God just has a funny way of just tying things together. I've known his wife since, we were both kids in London, and years. I was at his wedding, and his wife is also an actor. She's in that space, and it's just so interesting that seeing him evolve. He's a filmmaker, he's a director, he does all these, he's also an academic, just trying to correct, African people who are just I dream, like I said, like the mind is correct, and coming together just to elevate us in this way. I think is just amazing, and I just want to just commend them for this festival in this time, and I'll do everything I can to support it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. He was. Obenfo was mentioning yesterday that I think he was one of either your first guest. He was the first guest on New Day. So he was either the first guest of the show or on that first day that it launched. So this is really coming
I
full
remember
circle.
he blew us away. I mean, it was a new show and he blew us away. And it's just amazing to see all the things that he's done. And like he's probably, I said, one of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life.
Mm,
Um and like, holistically. 'Cause a lot of times when we think intelligent, we think about very in academia, in very Western terms. But we also have to understand that we have our own measure of intelligence and academia in African sense, and he is like a super genius. And I'm in awe of him. I'm not even just saying that. Totally in awe of him.
right. So the two of them have taken all that and they've come together to conceive of this idea of the Abibitumi Abibifahodie Film Festival, Black Power Film Festival. I
Yes.
guess could you just leave people with anything that you would want them to know, whether they're in Ghana on the ground and can come to the Ozone Cinema to see it, or whether they're able to attend the virtual one, for people who either love movies and film, or
Mm,
people who might feel like, maybe not, maybe they haven't, but this is such
yeah.
an opportunity. Can you speak to just any closing thoughts on why they should be here?
I think this film festival is for everybody. I think a lot of times when it comes to like festivals, it's always people in film or in the space. But one thing I love about a lot of times, look, is in the community. Um, you know, uh if you can go with your family members, go and see it. Because one thing a lot of times, I don't like people, oh, we don't have this, or we don't have enough, or oh, we don't. No, we have a lot. I think a lot of times when it is happening, a lot of times we're not grabbing it enough. So for this festival to be happening and you're in Accra and you can get to it, do. If not, it doesn't matter what part of the world you are, hop online. It's not back in the day when we used to have dial-up internet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, even if it's a bit choppy, we're gonna look, we're in the streaming world. However way you can. And let's watch our stories. Let's critique them. We're not even saying all these stories are perfect. Let's critique them. Let's look at, oh, this can be done better. This could be done this. And the truth is, if we are not supporting us, what we're doing, then how do you expect anybody to 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 do it for us? So if it's being done, let's come together. And truth is, look, for years, film, media, television has been used to shape our identities. And a lot of times it's not in a positive way. A lot of times it's just in however the author chooses. So if we're having people um, from all different parts of the world coming to tell their stories in their unique ways, let's see these different stories. Let's look at it. Let's comment on them. Um, because I think that we don't realize the power there is in that. I think we say it, but we don't realize that level of power in that. So yes, and take your families, tell your friends, get online, get there in person. Yo, go watch a movie. Look, Go watch some movies. Let's, you don't know who is the next filmmaker that's gonna rock the world by storm, who is gonna come through this festival.
I have a feeling they're going to come from this festival,
Yes.
and you're going to be one of the amazing judges
Thank
who's gonna tell
you.
us your thoughts. So yeah, I just wanted to close out. So the film festival is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, November
Hmm.
28th through 30th. This is the Abibitumi Abibifahodie Film Festival happening in outside of Accra. Accra is so big, but Oyarifa, the
Arifa.
Ozone Cinema
Yes.
is one of the sponsors. Bibi Tumi, Door. We've got our amazing uh, organizers, Onuwara and Obemfo Obadale Kanban. We've got host Kafui Day, and there's a legacy award for Ni Kwate. And
Amazing.
then we have our judges. He's not on here, but Sally Kim, who's a media powerhouse himself, who's now also teaching and pursuing his PhD. He's at UNIMAC. We also have Abraham Halley coming to us also virtually. He's going to be joining from Ethiopia. We have the Ajete Anang. I discovered him when I got to Ghana, and he's just,
Amazing
for,
actor.
for those who are not familiar with the media or entertainment landscape in Ghana, you will know who he is because his face is on almost every other billboard, every other poster, movie poster in Ghana. So excited that he's one of the celebrity judges, and of course, Miss Amake Abebrese is holding it up for the women, the actors, everybody.
Yes.
Also, so
Yes.
I guess closing thought: this film festival is actually the first program in a series of programs that are going to be part of what's called DOOR, the Decade of Our Repatriation.
Wow.
And just a little bit of background on that, so you can just a little bit of background on that is, the year of return happened, and it got the world's eyes looking at Ghana, but to the point you made earlier about us telling our own stories, because the story wasn't shaped, well, I should say it this way, because the people who chose to be the loudest about how they wanted to frame that, it became Dirty December, right?
Oh,
It became
we're
a
just
lot of
partying. People like partying is fine. We like partying, but there's more to Ghana than partying.
Exactly. And so this whole idea of DOOR, the decade of our repatriation, is I was telling Sally Kim earlier that I met so many people who came to Ghana, and the only Ghanaians that they interacted with were their Uber driver or the person who was cleaning in the hotel. They didn't meet actual people born and raised in Ghana
Mm,
because it was so segregated from the parties and the
yes.
tour.
Yes.
But now, with decade of our repatriation, we're looking at how do we create a better Ghana um, through entertainment, education, um, housing. The real estate industry is very interesting here. All the
Hmm.
various sectors. How do we create a better Ghana so that as we're inviting um, Ghanaian born diasporans and historic diasporans to come back, how do we build together in ways that we can revolutionize all of the industries? And this film festival is starting with how do we revolutionize it from telling our stories in entertainment. So I just dropped a little hint about
Hmm.
DOOR. There's a big announcement coming up in December, and it launches in January. But
Oh,
just knowing that this film festival is the first in a 10-year initiative to bring diasporans and Ghanaians together to really build Ghana and Africa for us. How do you feel just being a part of this?
so I want to just commend everybody who um is kind of being behind it, because this is not just a film festival. I think this is, for me, I see this as like a legacy. I see this as like, it seems to me like it's like a mission with Obinfo and Honora in trying to do this. I mean, everybody involved. is pretty much not just about today, but about how we move forward. Um, and the truth is, look, once the doors are open, what are you doing with it? The doors are opened. They're open. You know, we can party, we can do so much. And what are we also leaving for the next generation? One thing I do love is I love the fact that look, young people in Ghana, like back in the day when we're younger here, especially for those of us that were like diaspora, whether they were in the UK or whatever, it's like, oh, I want to go on vacation. And it was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Spain, or I'm gonna go to Mexico, whatever. Now I have me 18-year-old Ghanaians or diaspora people like, well, I'm trying to go to Ghana, I'm trying to go to Lagos. I'm trying to go to, that's changed. So for me, that alone is power because tourism is a beautiful thing. However, as we said, um, how do you interact? How do we just make sure that we just don't come, make, spend dollars and pounds and make the places really expensive and then leave? Because we know that when it comes bottom line is capitalism is always going to be capitalism. So beyond that, even how do we forge a better diaspora um engagement with real people, with Ghanaians? And also sometimes there is a gap. As somebody who moved to Ghana so many years ago, and as a Ghanaian, I thought I'm Ghanaian, but when I went to Ghana, I realized there was a big difference with being a Ghanaian, living in Ghana, and being a Ghanaian who grew up in the UK and then coming to Ghana. So there's so many nuances, there's so many stories, there's so many similarities, there's so many differences, there's so many shared things, so many things we learn from each other. And a festival like this, I think, uh, is what you said with the door, is that door for more engagement, more connections, more learning, and more improvement all around. So I think it's a wonderful way forward, in being part of the bigger conversation with whatever government is doing, what the different people are doing. So this is a wonderful initiative.
All right. Well, you heard it here. I thank you so much for joining me, and just sharing just everything you are and everything you do and everything you represent, with everyone. I know we have fans of yours watching, and then hopefully we've also been able to introduce or reintroduce you to some of the diasporans who are just in for a treat as they do a deep dive into everything that you've created, because you are a master content creator and actress, and I'm just so thankful to have been able to have some time with you today, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the films as you judge the film festival this weekend, and I'll be thinking about you on the red, black, and green carpet.
Yes, go work it. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.